Coming up on Mountain News this morning, things were frantic across the Cumberland Valley yesterday as floodwaters swept through the region, taking a trailer with them. And we share photos and video that viewers sent in of the chaos around all of eastern Kentucky from yesterday's storms. Plus, in Whitley County, yesterday's flooding hit the area hard, but the water may still continue to rise throughout today and into the weekend.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. The time is 6:03 on February 7th. I'm Madison Pergram, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News This Morning on this Friday morning. You're so close to the weekend, but the past 2 days have been a little chaotic. Let's go to Brandon Robinson. Brandon, yesterday, very chaotic around the region, flooding, widespread, today snow.
Exactly, and of course we still have the lingering high water issues from yesterday. Some of the rivers won't crest until tomorrow, so it's just going to be a situation that we're going to continue to monitor all throughout the weekend. Let's take a look and see what's going on right now. Live pinpoint Doppler radar. Bands trying to break up a little bit to the west, but a little bit more trying to form off to the west, so we're going to continue to watch that trend going through time. Some heavy snow falling here in Hazard and then across parts of the eastern half of the state going into West Virginia and Virginia, so be aware of that this morning. Winter weather advisory continues until 1 for everybody. That's all 4 states, all of our counties and all 4 states. Visibility is rough, anywhere between 1 and 2 miles, and then some folks are basically the entire region except for Somerset is below the 5-mile threshold. Lots of snow up on top of Buffalo Mountain here in Perry County and still coming down hard. You can see it there on the camera. Same situation outside the WYMT studios. I just peeked my head out the back door and looked here a few minutes ago, and it was really coming down there. 30s across the area this morning, some 20s, but basically right around freezing is where we're going to stay today, and that's a big change from yesterday. We're between 11 and 27 degrees colder today than it was this time yesterday. So basically, day planners a little bit easy for you to remember the temperature, at least right around freezing all day long. The extended forecast is on the way here in just a little bit. Madison.
Thank you, Brandon. Here's a look at the flooding in Harlan from yesterday. This is a bird's eye view taken from a drone by Adam Miracle. Some call it one of the worst floods in Harlan County's 200-year history. And take a close look at this picture sent to us. Brave first responders rushed to help families in need. And the videos and pictures pouring in just barely do justice to yesterday's flooding. Judge Executive Dan Mosley says this flooding was somewhat unexpected. Initial estimates had Harlan cresting at 16.5 feet. However, as of 1 yesterday afternoon, it was at 25 feet. While crews are prepared for situations like this, damage across the county is widespread.
It's been widespread flooding. I mean, we've heard of homes flooding in Shield, Dayhoyt, Tremont, Cumberland, Baxter, Elkhorn, Cranks, and those communities I named span from one end of this county to the other. East to west, north to south. I mean, we've seen widespread flooding. It's not, in some certain cases, certain floods we've had here in recent years, it's isolated to one pocket of the county. That has not been the case with this.
This started to turn dire as the sun broke over Harlan County yesterday morning. When we got there about noon yesterday, rain was still falling and the water began to trap families and sent first responders speeding to the different communities across Harlan County.
Like this that shows the damage that spans Harlan County.
We've been out since daylight, multiple rescues, evacuations. We've probably got 12, 14 people just off 413 alone.
Rain falling across the Cumberland Valley swarmed homes and roads, sending people living inside scrambling to get to higher ground.
About 6 o'clock, 6, 7, 8 o'clock this morning. I can't really believe, honestly. I've never been in a flood before. So it's kind of scary.
First responders were set up with boats at the mouth of what were once roads that became raging streams and rivers.
Pretty fast. It got really fast over them steps over there.
As the floodgates closed, people who were flooded out of their homes stopped by to look and seek help of where to go next.
We woke up this morning about 8 o'clock to the fire department banging our door down, and we had about 3 inches of water at that time. I currently just went back to my apartment and it's got about 3 foot of water in it.
As the rain subsides, families are now left to look and see at what they can salvage.
It's scary, really. I mean, I got a wife and a son. great aunt is on oxygen. She lives with me. It's miserable. You know, I mean, right now, you know, we're not knowing what to do.
Or what may be lost forever.
Now that was Will Puckett reporting, and rain also hit hard in Bell County, where officials declared a state of emergency yesterday. Middlesboro blocked off streets as flooding spread through the city. West Cumberland Avenue flooded from 15th Street to 19th Street. Many businesses closed down and City Hall was closed, and roads covered in water left many stuck on one side of town. One man had water flood the base of his home and flow into the basement, damaging some things that he cannot replace.
I have photos that belong to me and my father that's passed, videotapes that me and my dad recorded. One of the kids' old TV, our books are down here. All of our Christmas stuff is ruined, every bit of it.
The Middlesboro Fire Department has been in contact with the Red Cross, and if you find yourself needing a place to stay, contact them. They are trying to get a list together for the Red Cross. And dozens of people were rescued across Bell County throughout the day. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds talked to one of the families as they were brought to safety.
This is what Pineville looked like on Thursday. Record rainfalls.
I've lived here all my life, and it's never, since 77 floods, it's not got up this bad.
The Johnson family home was only one of more than 20 where water rushed in and took control.
When I left, I was wading water out of my living room and bedroom and my dining room and the rest of my bedrooms.
Making it out with only their grandchild and one of their 4 dogs.
And all 3 of them is pups. And they said they couldn't make 2 trips, had more places to go.
One of the next places may be Walls End, right by the river.
And we're right now under a voluntary evacuation for the Walls End community. Don't know if we will go to a mandatory evacuation for Walls End. Some people have started moving.
Even if the wall closes again, first responders will be on either side of the gates. In Bell County, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, yesterday proved to be a monumental day for one Bell County city, as for the first time ever, yes, ever, officials closed the floodgates in Pineville. They were put in 30 years ago. And here's some video from yesterday afternoon. They only closed half of the floodgate in hopes to cause minor disruption while they monitor the river. When they closed that portion of the gate, they expected it to be the highest crest since the 1977 flood.
I just want everyone to understand we've got this under control, and to not worry. There's no reason to panic. Everything will be okay.
Now, around 4:30 yesterday afternoon, we received word that crews reopened the floodgates. And a portion of the Cumberland Gap Tunnel also closed for part of yesterday. Here's some videos sent to us, and as you can see, some water flowed into the tunnel. They were forced to close the southbound lanes for a time. And in Jenkins, people became concerned when they saw water rushing over the dam. Here's the scene from that yesterday, and fire officials tell us there was no reason to worry. This is actually how the dam is intended to work, and as of now, no homes are in harm's way. And take a look at this video sent to us by viewer Brian Carter. A Harlan County man rushed to save his horses from the rising water yesterday. The owner of those animals posted on Facebook he was able to get them all to a safe spot. And the post office in Jenkins, however, did not fare nearly as well. The fire department rushed there to begin pumping water out. The call came in around 8:30 yesterday morning of flooding in the basement. The fire department will continue to pump the water out, and a fire department official said they are available to help as long as they need to. And for people in Whately County, the worst flooding may be yet to come. Shelby Smithson explains why.
This is probably one of the worst flash floods we've had 10 years at least.
Whately County emergency management officials were busy early Thursday, fielding multiple reports of cars underwater and roads completely blocked. But as the flash flooding problems recede, the Cumberland River is causing new concerns. According to the river gauge data, it's at moderate flood stage as of Thursday night, meaning Briar Creek Park is almost entirely submerged.
Now, water is creeping over the parking lot right now, but some people tell me this isn't the worst that they've seen it. One man saying decades ago it reached all the way up to the basketball court.
Well, a couple of years ago, I know the football field flooded, They had like a John boat out there.
Even University of the Cumberland student Nathan Perry, who has only lived in town for 2 years, knows this is an area to watch out for.
Every time it comes a rain, it floods.
That's why officials are prepared. Several fire and rescue departments in the area armed with boats and ready to head out in case of an emergency.
You know, if they need help, they need to call us. Don't try to go through the water because you never know when the road's going to wash out.
In Whitley County, Shelby Smithson for the Fox 56 10 o'clock news.
Now, the Cumberland River in Whitley County is expected to hit major flood stage this morning, but might not crest until tomorrow.
We continue to track snow this morning after we tracked rain yesterday and even into the first part of the evening because it had to transition over to this snow, and you're seeing some heavier bands across the eastern half of the state into parts of our neighboring states there on live pinpoint Doppler radar. A little bit more to the west scattered out, but again, I think we'll see some scattered snow showers off and on throughout the day. Winter weather advisory until 1 o'clock this afternoon for the entire region. Visibility is awful this morning. Fog, and we've got drifting and heavy snow, so just be careful of that as you head out Buffalo Mountain. As you'll see there, still again snow coming down up there. Visibility is rough, so take it easy this morning. Temperatures right around freezing, and again that's several degrees colder than it was this time yesterday morning. Anywhere from 11 to 27 degrees colder. 32 your daytime high this afternoon. Madison.
Thank you, Brandon, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up, Fort Knox could be home to the Army Corps' headquarters, bringing hundreds of soldiers to the state. And the debate on sports wagering continued in Frankfort. We'll have the details on that straight ahead.